What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Brianna Nicole and I'm back with another video. So today's video will be my very first, let me say it again, my very first makeup tutorial. Yes, I'm finally doing it. I've been asked to do it and I was just apprehensive because I'm not a cosmetologist. I'm not a makeup artist. I'm just somebody who loves, and I mean I love makeup. So you know, like I was definitely like reluctant to do it because of those reasons, because I didn't want nobody judging me and how I do my makeup. But you know, like somebody was like, girl, don't worry about all of that. The end result, okay? It shouldn't matter how you got there, as long as you got from A to B, okay? You get me? I got from point A to B. So it shouldn't matter how I got there, you know, like the end result, it looked good. I've been wanting to do something just lavender, you know, just very light and, you know, pastel. I'm gonna do a peach look next once my palette gets here Friday. So if you are excited to see how I got from A to B, then just keep on watching. What's up? So the first thing I'll be doing is priming my eyelids with my Born This Way concealer in the shade Honey. And this is just to give myself a nice even base before I do my eyeshadow look. And I'm going to blend that out with a blending sponge. And I won't be setting the concealer because I like a nice wet base when I'm using lighter colors, because I like for them to be, you know, pigmented, and I like for them to actually show up. You know, us dark skinned girls gotta work a little harder to get them lighter shades to show up. So I will not be setting this concealer. I will just be going in with that first shade. And the palette that I will use the most is the Violets palette by Juvia's Place. And I'm going in with this lavender shade, and I'm just packing that in the crease and all over the lid before I begin to blend it out. And I just do the same thing on the other eye. To get a different brush, and I'm going to go into that deep violet shade and pack that on the outer V of my eye, and then I'm going to blend that into the lavender shade, and I'm going to blend up into like a wing shape. And I'm going to just do the same thing on the other side. Then I'm going to go back in with that lavender and blend it into the purple. And I go back and forth with these shades just to make sure everything is nice and pigmented, and you know that everything is nice and blended as well. Then I'll be cutting my crease using the Makeup Revolution cut crease canvas. Gonna cut that crease, and once I lay down the base for the crease, I'm going to go in with the Huda Beauty Nude Light Palette, and I'm going to use that Bone shade just to set it down, because I won't be putting anything, like any shade on top of this. This will kind of just be it for right now. And then I repeat on the other side. Morphe brush, and I'm just making sure that this bone color shade is blending into the lavender and into the violet. So I'm just making sure everything is nice and blended. And then as you can see, I didn't like how the cut crease looked, so I just kind of went back in with the concealer, and I just took it a little higher, especially like on the other side. I just, you know, took the crease a little higher because my eyelid is so uneven and it bothers me so bad when I do my cut crease, because I always just try to follow the natural shape of my eye, but like because they're different on both sides, I always end up having to like kind of go against my crease on one of my eyes. And typically it's my right eye where I have to, you know, kind of go back over it. So I just kind of like went back over it and kind of like took the crease a little higher and then evened them out. I knew they weren't going to be perfect, but I wanted them to look as symmetrical as possible. Now that I've got my crease how I want it, I'm going back in with that same bone color shade, and I'm just going back over where I added some more of that base. Just make sure everything is nice and set down and blended out. And then after this, I'm going to bust my good old Morphe brush back out, and I'm going to go back into the lavender shade and just kind of like blend back into the crease, make sure everything's nice and blended. And then I also went over top of the deep violet shade, just because I didn't want it to be super dark, and I knew that that lavender would kind of lighten it up a bit. And then once I'm done with that, I'm going to take a nice flat synthetic brush, and I'm going to spray it with my Milani Make It Last setting spray. And I'm going to go into that pretty shimmery shade, that lavender shimmer shade, and I'm going to put it coming from the outer V, going towards the midsection of my eyelid. I'm not taking it all the way over because I'm going to be putting glitter right on the inner corner of my eye. So I just put that in that midsection. It's so pretty. I freaking love that shade, and I was getting excited at how it was coming out, and of course singing my heart out in the process. I'm just blending that shade out, making sure it's nice and blended. Next, I'm just picking out a glitter to go on top of my lid. I ultimately ended up just going with the ColourPop Far Out loose glitter, and I used the NYX glitter glue. And I'm going to take a super small detail brush just to be very precise, because I don't want glitter getting everywhere, and I'm just applying this over top of that bone color shade and kind of like taking it a little bit up into that lavender shimmer shade as well. And I just do the same thing on the other side, of course. Then I take another small detail brush, and in little amounts I just pack that glitter over top of where I just laid down that glitter glue, and I make sure that I take it up into the shimmer shade just so it looks like it's very blended. Everything is blended. I love a nice blend. Blend. And when I did it, it was sheer, and it was, to me it was pretty, but I just wanted like that extra so I did go in with that lavender shimmer shade, and I went over top of the glitter, and it just made it stand out and it made it pop more. And I made sure I was very light when I went over the glitter, but I wanted it to still like be very lavender, so I went over top of the glitter, the loose glitter, with that lavender shimmer shade. And now I'm just taking a brush and brushing off that glitter that fell off onto my face and getting it out of the way. And then I also went back in that deep violet shade and kind of intensified the crease, the outer V a little bit. Once I saw like the overall result, I was like, okay, I can deepen it up a bit. then I'm just wiping my face, just getting rid of all of that extra product that fell down onto my face from the eyeshadow and the glitter. Just giving myself a nice even base for my foundation and everything else. Now I'm going in with my Milk Hydro Grip Primer. And I'm also going to be using my Versali Unicorn Essence as well. Just dripping that all over my face. Now my hands, girl, so I blended this into my skin using my fingertips and kind of pressing it into the face and on my neck as well. Now to apply my foundation, I'm using the NARS Sheer Glow in the shade New Caledonia. And I'm just applying this all over my face as well. But I'm making sure I blend under my neck and my chins, because some of the girls don't be doing that, and I just be so upset. Like, why are y'all not blending down there, okay? Double chins and fat necks matter too, okay? Make sure you're covering all of that. Make sure everything is blended, okay? Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Getting a little bit more around that forehead. You know, I got a 5 head. To conceal, I will be going in with the Born This Way concealer in the shade Warm Sands, and I will just be highlighting under my eyes, down my nose, and on my chin. And the only reason sometimes I highlight my forehead, it really just depends on the hairstyle. But since my hair has a bang, I felt the need that I felt that I didn't need to highlight my forehead. But best believe if I was rocking a middle part, I would have definitely go ahead and, hit that forehead, make it a little smaller, because, baby, I got a 5 head. And I'm just blending this out. And I know you may be thinking, that highlight is a little too light for her. I don't like it. But I need you to have faith in my process. I need you to have a little more faith in my process, okay? You gonna see the end result. I like a lighter highlight, not that much. I will say I do like a lighter highlight, just not drag highlight, but I do like my face to be bright. Okay, yes. And once I have blended that out to my liking and blended everything, blend. I'm going to go in with my Fit Me finishing powder in the shade 30 medium, and I'm just going to set those areas. And since I have dry skin, I push my powder into my skin. I do not bake, because if I bake, then it will not be pretty. So I just apply it, and then once I put it everywhere, I just go and press it into my skin. The only place I really let sit is my nose, and that's because my nose does get oily. But everywhere else, I just go ahead and just press it on in. And like I said, you gotta have faith in my process, because I know I'm looking casket ready, okay? You got to have faith. I promise you, the end result. Have faith. And then once I have done all of that, I take that powder off my nose, because I still don't want it to sit too long. Blend it in. I go back over it with my sponge to make sure that powder is pressed in, honey. Yes. Okay, then now it's time to get these eyes all the way together. So I'm still brushing powder off. Yes I am. But I am about to put on my lashes. So first I separate my lashes with my lash separator. I'm getting myself together, because I did not think to have everything out and in my face, because I'm just a mess. Ooh, child. So So I go in with my Stila eyeliner. It's liquid with felt tip. And this is just to, you know, where the lash band will go, just so it won't show and look all crazy in the mist. This is my favorite eyeliner. It's nice. Then I go in with the Duo Lash Glue Clear. Then I put on my mascara. Then I'm using the Kiss Lashes, and the name of the lash is Corset. And I'm just bending the lash to get it to the shape that I want. Then I'm going to pop that lash right on. I had to go back in with a little glue and fix that. Now I'm going to be setting my whole face. Ooh, that powder. I'm just setting my face in the same Fit Me powder, but in the shade 40 Deep. See, I told y'all to have faith. I wasn't gonna be looking casket sharp the whole time. Then I'm just going in with my lash separator because I don't like when my lashes are like all clumped up together. So I'm just combing them from up under the lash that I just applied and making sure they're all separated. And then after I do this, I'm going to go in and apply some mascara. Now I'm going back into that Juvia's Place palette, and I'm just applying that lavender shade on my lower lash line. And I went back in with that deep violet shade again, just bringing it down a little bit to connect it to where I added that lavender on the lower lash line. Now I'm taking my NK white eyeliner and I'm just putting that in my waterline. And the reason I like doing this is just because it makes my eyes look a little bigger. I'm just taking my Maybelline Lash Discovery mascara and putting that on the lower lashes. And going back over that white liner with my ColourPop liner, because that one is waterproof, so I like to do one, kind of layer it, just so it's intense like I like it. Then I'm going to go into that Huda Nude Light palette, and I'm going to use that light purple shade to go in the inner corner, but it wasn't as intense as I wanted it to be or as I thought it was going to be. So I ended up going into one of my super old NYX Strobe Genius or something like that palettes, and it had like this really pretty lavender highlight, and I never touched it because I can't use no lavender highlight, but it was perfect for the inner corner. And then I also decided to use that to highlight my brow bone as well. then I went in with my ColourPop highlighter called The Real Thing. Yes, as you can see, I'm a ColourPop lover, and you'll see that more. And I'm just highlighting my face. I just love it. It's like a soft champagne color, nothing too crazy, nothing too dramatic, just a little something, you know. And then for the lips, I'm going to go in with my NK brown liner, and I didn't like that one, so I switched it out, and I went in with my other NK lip pencil in the shade Coffee to line my lips instead. Now I'm going in with the ColourPop Luxe lipstick and the shade Pinkies Up. And as you can see, it broke in the midst of me using it. And I promise I'm not rough. And I wasn't going to let that broken lipstick stop me from getting my lips popping, okay? And it was too matte, so I wanted to add like more of a shine to it. So I went in on top of that with the Milani liquid lip color in the shade Amore Shine, just to give it a more glossier look. And that pretty much wraps up the look. I went off camera and added another clear gloss on top, and I will be back with the final look. Yes, okay, yes, let's get it. Okay, so this is the final look. This is my end result. That video is long, so as you can see, I sped it up and I did a voiceover. It's my first makeup tutorial, so I want you guys to tell me how I did down in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will probably do more videos like this, so yeah, I think that's it. You know, like I needed to get back on camera. That's really just what it was. I missed doing this. I missed it. I ain't even gonna lie. I ain't gonna care. I know it's March, and the last video I posted was in January, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna make a comeback slowly but surely. I'm coming back. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I will be back with more videos. Peace.